This website traffic source has a massive 327 million visitors that you can tap into for free. Welcome to ProfitCopilot.com. Mick Meaney here, and today I want to share an unusual free website traffic source. But first, you already know that the more traffic you get, the more money you make. It's just that simple. So if you want to get enough website traffic to make a living from your internet business, I will give you the website traffic strategies that have helped thousands of people. And you've probably heard of some of them too. So click the link in the description or go to ProfitCopilot.com/traffic and get that free training. Okay, so today's website traffic source is called Wattpad, and to help you to use it for traffic generation, I need to walk you through it step by step. So watch this tutorial until the end. Okay, so let's go to the computer and take a look. Let's check the traffic, because this gets a massive 327 million visitors that you can tap into for free. This is the website. It's wattpad.com. It claims to be the world's biggest storytelling community. So we're going to have to be a bit creative today. We have to think a little bit sideways in order to tap into this amount of traffic, because there's 327 million visitors we can access, but we have to be smart. So in order to do this, well, go ahead, create your free account. It's going to ask you to upgrade to a premium one. You don't need to do that. So you don't need premium. You just need a free account. And when you sign in, you'll get to a page that looks something like this. It's going to have a whole heap of stories and books that you can read if you want to, but we're focused on using this for marketing. So scroll up to the very top, search for something relevant to your niche. I'm going to search for marketing just to see what exists. And here we can see that there are books and stories that are relevant to my niche. So that tells me, well, if we have a look at the number of reads, so this piece of content, this story has been read over 1,000 times. This one has been read over 12,000, 3,000. You get the idea, 13,000. So we know that there is at least some demand for the type of content we're going to publish. So if I wanted to create a book or a story about marketing, I know that there is a good portion of that 327 million visitors, a good portion might be interested in my stuff. So I would go over here to the right button, click on that, and now we have a section called Create a New Story. Let me just show you an example of something that I've been working on, and then I'll walk you through how to do it for yourself. So here, I am in the process of just putting together a very short story, and this could be an example for you. If you're stuck on how to use this for traffic generation, this could be a good idea, but I'll leave it up to you to decide, because I'm just going to really just tell my story of my journey of going from a broke lone parent who had to wake up at 4 a.m. every morning to go scrub school toilets, to living a life of freedom and abundance, which I have now, and how the internet played a big role in that. So let me just show you something. So I've only wrote a couple of paragraphs at the moment, and it's not published, so you know it's only you and me who can see this at the moment. But here I'm just starting to tell a story of like where I started. So this, of course, will be used to promote my business, but we have to do it in a slick, stealthy way. So we can't just start posting links in here, right, and expect us to get traffic. That won't work, because what will happen if you do that, well, your account could potentially get banned. So with that in mind, if you want to go ahead and create a story, click on Write, then click Create a New Story. It's going to take you to a few fields here. So the first thing that I would encourage you to do is give it a strong title. So something that's going to connect with your audience. You could even include relevant keywords here as well, because as we've seen, when we search for marketing, it's pulling the title. So bear that in mind when you write your story. Also, it's going to look at the description here. So if we look at what's been pulled from other stories, that is the description. And we want to see relevant keywords in your description. So make sure you do that. Now, your main characters. You don't have to fill this in, but it's probably a good idea. Let's move on to the next bit. Category. This is important because we've got like lots of fiction sections, but if we scroll down, we have non-fiction. So if you're telling a real life story about yourself, or you're creating educational content, go with non-fiction. Okay, if it's true story, non-fiction. Then we can add tags. Again, this is important. So you need to add your keywords to your tags and your target audience. This is great because let me give you a little clue here, because no matter who your target audience is, if you're promoting anything on the internet, maybe you write children's stories and you might think, well, children are your target audience. And that's true to some extent, but children don't have credit cards. So your target audience is always the person that can afford to buy your stuff. So if you're writing for children, you may want to create content that targets the parents as well, because they're going to make the decision on whether to buy or not. But for most people watching this, we're going to be targeting adults of at least 25 years of age, people that want to invest in their business, generally speaking. Okay, language, self-explanatory. Copyright, I'll leave that up to you to decide. You can keep it all rights reserved. You can add a Creative Commons, add it to the public domain. There's different types of Creative Commons licenses that you can choose. It's really up to you. And then for most people, this mature rating will be off for most people, because you'll want to reach the widest possible audience. And of course, make sure that you follow the guidelines. Very important. Also, we have this section here. So we have add a cover. Now, we can use Canva. If we head over to Canva and then we search for book cover, we're going to get 5,600 templates that we can use. A good number of these are going to be free, so you don't have to invest in anything. And then you can just make your book cover, upload it to your story, and then hit next. Let me show you what happens when we hit next. This page looks very simple, but you can actually do a fair bit with this. So you can add a title to your chapter or your section. So I've added, well, wakey wakey, those toilets won't scrub themselves. So I'm talking about like the second that I wake up in the morning. This is like going back a few years, but about the dread that I felt from waking up every morning, even before I opened my eyes, knowing that I was going to have to go scrub school toilets. It was a nightmare. It was horrible. It was a dead-end job, and I swore if I ever made it, if I ever got out of that situation, the first thing to go was my alarm clock. And I actually kept that promise a few years later. This is all true. I actually got my alarm clock and I hurled it. I smashed it. I had to clean it up afterwards. That was not a problem. I got immense satisfaction from throwing that thing at a wall and watching it smash, knowing I would never have to use an alarm clock ever again in my life. It was liberating. So I'm just speaking about that experience, right? And then having to walk 2 miles on icy pavements in a November morning. It was dangerous. It was horrible, you know, to go to this dead end job and earn a minimum wage. You know, I was grateful that I had a job, that I had somewhere to live, but I knew I could do better, right? So I'm just diving into that, the emotional aspect of that, sharing my story. And I can add images if I want. I can add video if I want. I'm choosing to not do that, but you can do that if you want to. Now, before you hit publish, look at these little dots. Okay, this is a kebab menu. So click on the kebab menu, and now you have, here you have a few settings. So we can set a time. So if you're writing fiction, you might want to set it, you know, like 100 years ago or 100 years in the future, whatever. It's up to you. But this is interesting. So we can add external links. So this is how you're going to drive traffic. If you click add, there we go. We can add links to, well, whatever you like, but follow the guidelines. I'd encourage you to not use this for affiliate marketing. I'd encourage you to only add links that are relevant to this part of the story. And that is how you're going to drive traffic today. When you're all happy with that, then you can hit publish and send this to the database so other people can find your story. And if you want enough website traffic to earn a decent living online, click the link in the description or go to profitcopilot.com/traffic. Okay. Thank you. Take care and God bless.